Hello there, and welcome to another episode of COVID-19 Update here in Chatham-Kent, where we talk to different municipal officials, individuals, and organizations that are doing some amazing things during these trying times. And I'm happy to have Amanda Perini here, Executive Director from New Beginnings of ABI and Stroke Recovery. Amanda, thanks for joining me today.
Thanks for having me.
So I got to ask you, how are you doing during this interesting time in our community, province, and the rest of the world?
It's been a really trying time for us. Our organization really is the type of facility that is meant to be hands-on. And so as a recreational facility where we provide things like exercise classes and art activities, baking clubs, and hands-on vocational work, it's really complicated everything because we can't have that hands-on sort of activities that we're normally used to doing with our membership.
Yeah. You kind of already start kind of touching in on the services that you provide. Can you elaborate a little more about, what New Beginnings for Stroke ABI is for somebody who has never even heard of this facility? It's a great facility.
Sure, thank you. So New Beginnings ABI and Stroke Recovery Association is a recreational facility that services individuals who have either suffered a stroke or survivors of an acquired brain injury. So that can range and vary from a number of different things, car accidents or acquired brain injuries that are suffered as a result of trauma, as well as stroke. And so what we do here is a number of different activities. So our facility is located in Chatham here at 9 Maple Leaf Drive, which is the old McDonald Home Furnishings. So it's a 9,000 square foot facility. It's a large facility. And we do have personal support workers as well as recreational coordinators that are here doing activities for our members on a daily basis. So we have a daily schedule that we would provide for our members, and they would be able to access programs like exercise classes, low impact exercise, typically things that can be done in a seated position, as well as arts and crafts activities. We do have a fully functional, fully serviced workshop. So it's a wood shop with all of the tools that are required to do any sort of woodworking. And we do have a number of volunteers that come in and they help our members to be able to create different sort of, woodworking pieces of art. We have a baking program and we have a full kitchen. So we do provide our members with at least one hot meal a day.
It's great. It's an amazing area to come see. Just come and take a gander at what kind of stuff they have. A lot of services have been getting some funding from our senior levels of government. Obviously, with a lot of organizations closing down, did New Beginnings receive any additional funding from our senior levels of government during this pandemic?
Unfortunately not, but that goes without saying, I think, just by virtue of the fact that we are a recreational facility. So we've not lost any of our funding at this point, not from the government levels anyhow. We're certainly struggling in terms of our donations, obviously our inability to fundraise, which is a large portion of the funds that we receive. So we're not in the same position that we were before because we're not able to generate that extra revenue. But fortunately for us, up until this point, we're still receiving what we need.
Yeah, you kind of touched base earlier on this. Every organization's adapting based on social distancing and health and safety regulations. What have you and your team been doing differently with your clients to adapt to try and help them as best as you guys possibly can?
Well, everything's different, right? So for us, it's been a challenge because one of the vocational programs that we offer here is actually to help our members to learn how to use their electronic devices and to get onto those different programs. And had we had a crystal ball, we certainly would have incorporated Zoom and Google Hangouts and Skype into some of that vocational training that we were offering to our members. But unfortunately, we just didn't know to what extent this was all going to play out. So we were very fortunate because we had been already sort of working with our members to teach some of our members, some older and younger people at different varying comfort levels with electronic devices, how to access information electronically. So we were fortunate that we had already started that ball rolling with some of our members, but certainly that's been one of our biggest challenges is just giving everyone the the ability and being able to teach everyone sort of remotely how to access a device, because I'm sure you can understand that when you're trying to tell somebody how to set something up on an electronic device and you're talking to them on the phone and you can't actually visually tell them how to do that, it certainly complicates things. So that's been one of our biggest challenges. But I will tell you that our membership has adapted so well to everything that's gone on. And I think it's been a good thing in some aspects, because it really does push everybody outside of their general comfort zone, right? And so I think that, you know, seeing our members connect via a Zoom sort of coffee social that we're hosting on Wednesday mornings, members that we wouldn't normally see, members that are over the age of 80, that, you know, are still accessing via an electronic device. And they're funny. I mean, the calls are great because, you know, we get to look up a lot of people's noses, and we're teaching everyone sort of the, you know, the proper etiquette on some of these different social calls that we're having, and using some of this software. But it's been really neat to see how everyone has adapted.
That's great. So, we talked about the challenges. You've talked about some great good news stories. This is an awesome one. Do you have anything else that's been kind of like good news along this very interesting past 2 months in our community?
Well, we've been able to connect with all of our membership. So what we did was we sort of adopted the philosophy of really going back to the basics, because a number of our members suffer from varying degrees of challenges. So, for example, we have some members who have aphasia, which means that in some cases, they cannot read, or they cannot verbalize and find the words that they're looking to be able to, you know, to tell you what it is that they need or what they'd like to speak about. So we've been continuing to work with our membership to be able to stay in touch. So our staff have been making calls, weekly calls to all of our membership. So we've been able to connect with everybody on a different level. There are, I can tell you, a number of members that I knew before, and I didn't know on such a personal level. So it really has given us an opportunity to connect with our membership on a more personal level, right?
No, that's great. I think, yeah, at this time we're all doing different things, and you know, this is a time for us to really connect. We're doing it in different ways. We're doing this over Skype, where I would rather have you guys come into the studio and talk, you know, new beginnings, but we're all learning. I think that's great that you're keeping so in touch with your members. And, you know, as Ontario is opening up in, you know, these 3-stage phases, from a 2 to 5 week phase, where are you seeing your organization like New Beginnings potentially a soft opening? You know, is there any path for where you guys see opening?
We're working on it right now. So we're already trying to adapt our facility to make it, to make the opening itself be a little bit easier on our membership. So we're trying to figure out ways now, even just from a floor planning perspective, on how we can maintain that physical distancing when our members are able to return. I will tell you that based on the fact that we do have such a vulnerable population, I don't foresee us being in the first couple of waves of reopening. And I think that really goes without saying for the safety of our membership. But I'm very optimistic that when we do reopen, although it will be probably different than what it was before, that we will be able to still support our members in a way, you know, that we supported them before. And, you know, our place was always sort of a hangout place. So we had members that came and they would hang out for the entire day. And we might not be able to do that anymore. We might have to sort of you know, phase that in and maybe allow only a certain number of members to come into the club at one time. However, our intention is to get fully back up and running as soon as it's safe to do so that we can see our members again, because we've gotten a lot of feedback from our members that they're just so anxious.
I think we're all anxious about opening our favorite things, whether it's a golf course, marina, New Beginnings clientele. It is a great facility for you know, your clients that are dealing with this, and a great place for them to socialize. We're all, you know, needing that socialization, you know, aside from Zooms and FaceTime. So it's great that what you and your team are doing, Amanda. Is there anything else that you would like to add as we close up?
I just wanted to add that we are, although we're servicing our members, we're certainly open to anyone reaching out if there's anything that anyone needs in terms of, just being able to socialize and talk. We're not really out doing outreach in the community by way of, providing groceries and things like that. However, we do have our Facebook page as well as our YouTube channel where we're providing a number of exercise videos and cooking videos, simple activities that people can do at home using supplies that they would have in their pantry or in their cupboards. So please feel free to, to go on to our Facebook page and our YouTube channel, or reach out to us privately through Facebook if there's anything, if you have a family member who has suffered from a stroke, who is a survivor of an acquired brain injury. As a caregiver, we still offer support to caregivers as well, to be able to chat and talk about things and provide resources to caregivers as well. So I would just say that, if there's anybody in the community that would require that type of support, that they could feel free to reach out to us at any time.
That's great. Thank you so much for what you and your team do there, Amanda. And when this is all said and done, I hope that New Beginnings will join us in a big old Chatham-Kent block party to celebrate all the hardships we've endured. And it's great that what you guys are doing. So continue doing what you're doing.
Thanks so much.